I'm already glad that you haven't really searched on triple accounting and are explaining everything to me now, so I can still tell you. I mentioned current accounting methods, they are very well at organizing the company internally. So what's the problem? Internally everything is fine, external world is a problem. You see it also at BASF. Basically, we are very happy, we can entertain ourselves with internal cost settlement approaches and discussions about it. But if there were not the outside world, that is really bothering us. And that's what I want to explain today, how this wall between the internal world and the external world is bothering us, and that's as well on the part of efficiency, where I mainly come from. How can we improve efficiency? But I will also explain in the direction of governments, of auditing, how these kind of new concepts for triple accounting can help to get better auditability, and how also governments might be interested in these kind of concepts. So let's start. What happens if you send out a bill? So you have delivered some goods, or you delivered services to your business partner, and so you make an invoice and you send it out to your partner. What happens with the invoice? Yeah?
They pay it and we receive money?
If you're lucky.
Yeah,
if you're lucky, yeah. Yeah. Great, so that's the happy part. If everything is working well, they pay it on time, they pay the right amount, and you don't have any work. But until the day that the money is on your bank account, you're blind, you don't know what happened. You send out the invoice, today you send it on paper or via email. When you send it on paper, they might say, oh, DHL was on strike and we had a reorganization, it's in the wrong department. It's very sorry, can you send it again? Because we didn't find it. If you send it by mail, they might send, I think it's in our spam folder or whatever. So people find thousands of ways and reasons not to pay a bill. And basically, from the moment you send it out, you lose all control. You really don't know what happens with it. Do they throw it in the away? Do they put it aside? You really don't know. You're blind until you see, when you're happy, the money is on your bank account. Oof. We can go on. Or the money is not on your bank account. What do you do then? Send out a reminder. Start the dunning process. Start calling them. So, and that's basically quite a lot of work, and for us in the service hub in Berlin, I think it's over 100 people that are busy doing these kind of things. Sending dunning mails, calling people, just because we don't have any overview with what happens to our invoice after we send it out. So, if we can do something there that gives us more transparency, that ensures that we can follow it up. This has a FTE potential of 100 people that basically we could save, and that's already a lot. Now let's look at the other side, the accounts receivable side. So suddenly this invoice that your business partner sent out, it arrives at the right place. What happens then? Get an invoice. Okay, did they deliver any goods? Did they deliver any services? For which purchase order was it? So you have quite a lot of work to allocate this invoice. And then, as you might see, maybe your business partner has an SAP system, we have an SAP system, you might think it's the same. It's not. It's two different systems, they are set up differently, they are customized differently. You can also be sure that the data in these systems are different, and so that what is on the invoice is different with what you have in your system. So you need to check with purchasing, is that right, is it possible, can it be? Or with the people who did the goods receipt, can it be that it's only 980 kilograms, where on the invoice it's 1000 kilograms or whatever. or it's 3 boxes and you have 1 big box that we ordered because they deliver different quantities. So there's so many reasons that yeah, you might need to check that invoices defer before you can pay them. Also there, if I see at our service hub in Berlin, for the whole region Europe, it's over 100 people busy doing these kind of things. So that's quite a lot of people that we just are working to analyze differences and make these internal and external systems match. So that's basically a big potential if you want to do. So yeah, reasons why data can differ. So as I mentioned before, these are different SAP systems. They have different customizing. The prices are calculated differently. Due dates are calculated differently. Quantities are defined differently. If you're doing with an American business with an American company or an English company, they might talk in pounds and ounce and whatever they have. This does not fit our metric way of measuring things. So there are 1,000 reasons why this can and will differ. And I have a good example where we also started doing something like triple accounting with Evonik. We have a lot of transactions with Evonik. We selling to Evonik, Evonik selling to us. And basically it's quite the same. But we have an enormous amount of people working on the invoices from Evonik, and they also work on our invoices because they don't fit. And there we started doing something in the direction of triple accounting because we said, yeah, this makes no sense. And we trust each other, we are good business partners. So we need to work together and see how we can remove these sources of the differences. Yeah, what I said in the beginning, so this single source of truth, of course you have contracts that are today on paper and they are signed on paper or digitally in PDF, but then you translate them to your own IT system, be it SAP or Oracle or whatever. And these systems are, of course, not made like the contract, so you try to make the best fit possible, and that's where then the differences in the follow-up procedures arise. So what's the solution, or what can be a solution? So basically today we have here a legacy system, we have here a legal system independent from each other when we are doing the transactions and they differ. Now in the past there was no cloud or not whatever, so you are happy that you had your computer at all. I even started in the time before you had a computer. And there you try to manage with the IT tools and landscape that you have. Meanwhile, it is possible to have a central computer where you do all the registrations, and then you can divide or spread these data to the other, to your own system. So, and that's basically the idea about triple accounting. So it's not something abstract with 1, 2, and a third dimension in your accounting system, but it's registering your data one time centrally in a cloud or a blockchain where you have the contract, and then sending this data from this single source of truth to your own systems. Like you have a contract, that's then this contract is digitally. And once you have that, you can start building on it and also performing the processes in this central ledger and account. So you can have the goods received or the goods issue, goods received. You can also issue them in this central system. And nowadays, it's even with GPS and so possible that you have an IBC or that you have your goods in a container, you have a GPS location, and once the truck is passing the gate, It sees, okay, it's now at the right location, and these goods received can be automatically done, performed in the blockchain, in the cloud, in this single source of truth. And once you have it there, basically you also have all the data to start the invoicing and the payment processes. Then a smart contract can be implemented. That is then, after the goods are there and you have confirmed the goods received, that automatically the payment process is started via a smart contract. So then you have all these payables, receivables activities. You can automate them in a central system where you have only one single source of truth and do not need to align